Hello, beloved Prayerful Heart Consciousness holders. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby, and I am so happy to take this time and just move into prayer with you. This is an unusual time, and you've heard me say this all week long, but it is an unusual time. We have so much change that is in the air. And this is also a time where we get to move into that space and honor the divine within. And the thing that we get to learn most of all about honoring the divine within, that our power resides within ourselves. So this is what I've been having conversations with people all week long. And today, I had an opportunity to spend time with a group of people just to talk about how they are coping and how they are engaging in spiritual practice right now. And I want to remind you about the power of spiritual practice. Emma Curtis Hopkins, I love Emma Curtis Hopkins. She says that we should affirm daily, there is good in my life and I ought to have it. I believe that what is happening right now is humanity is saying there's good in the world and I ought to have it. And so as a result of that, we get to look at some things, the way we're doing things, and the thing that brings forward that awareness right now has to do with our health. But you know, health shows up in many different ways. There is our physical health, and we're dealing with our physical health. There is our healthy relationships, being in healthy relationships. So that means having that wonderful high self-esteem about ourselves, finding value in ourselves, as well as value in others. There is the thing we call our work ethics, and being able to work in a healthy way. And then there is also this thing we call financial security or financial health. All these things are related, and they're all a part of the good. And what I want to remind you is whatever you're dealing with right now, whether it is your health, whether it has to do with your relationships, with yourself or others. Maybe it has something to do with moving through this situation and trying to figure out what the next thing is so that you will survive. I want you to remember, everything starts within. And when we focus within first and we move from within, it can make a difference. So with that in mind right now, I'm going to invite you to join me and move into prayer. One of the things that I learned from one of my first teachers, and I'm going to call my grandmother one of the first teachers, was the power of prayer, and that prayer can change things. So with that in mind right now, I want you to simply breathe with me and just simply release and let go of everything as we are in this holy season right now. And in this holy season, we get an opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the divine. And I hear these sacred words, honor thee in their comings and thy goings. And so we're honoring that presence right now and just acknowledging the spirit and the light of God. I'm just remembering this song many years ago, being in the choir, Only God, and simply remembering that there is only God. And knowing that that God presence is that perfect life and that perfect presence. And that that presence is the presence of divine love in action. It is that divine essence that moves. It conforms to that which is true. It is life. And that life is a life that is bound by the laws of the universe. And I know that that wonderful life is a life where love and beauty exist. It coexists. It co-creates. And in that co-creation, we experience the blessings of life. the beauty, the wisdom, that divine fulfillment. And so in this very moment, right here, right now, I know that the beauty, the essence of divine fulfillment, the richness of life, it is all alive and it abides within me. It is that comforting presence, and it is that universal law, expanding itself and revealing itself in a sacred way. So I behold that consciousness of sacred love, sacred peace, and sacred harmony, resonating deep within the recesses of my being, simply knowing that my body temple is simply a reflection of this truth. I remember and know that that same presence is alive and thriving mentally and emotionally within my being, that my spirit is lifted up, and that because it is lifted up, my eyes are upward on the truth of being. And what I'm knowing about myself right now is the truth that I behold and know about every single person that is listening to this prayer, that is a part of this prayer right here and right now. And so in this very moment, what I know is something divine has unleashed itself. Something divine has revealed itself. I know that the egg has cracked and there is the hatching of something new. That wonderful Christ consciousness is alive, strengthening itself and fulfilling itself in a sacred and a practical way. So this is the energy and the vibration that I know has gone before and prepared the way. And so in this very moment, right here, right now, I know that each and every one of us sees the moment and we create a new script, a new way of being. And that new script and new way of being creates a space for a world that works for everyone. And what I'm knowing in this very moment is that each and every one of us are included in the script, that each and every one of us are strengthened, that we are heroes and sheroes that abide in this place of love. I'm knowing that there is harmony in all of our relationships and that the universe conspires and supports each and every one of us in our growth. And I know that it reflects in a powerful and a practical way. So I'm knowing that it is alive right now within our health care. I'm acknowledging it as that powerful presence fulfilling itself and sustaining itself economically. I know that it is that divine presence that brings peace and harmony within all of our relationships, that it is clarity and wisdom in our communication, and that the hand of the divine fulfills itself, that we stand under the wisdom and the light that fulfills itself as joy, as peace, as harmony, as love in action. So what I know is that in this very moment, there is a divine creation, and that divine creation is the essence of life fulfilling itself in a practical way. So in this space, I know that each and every individual is able to look up, that each and every individual is inspired, that their needs are met. Our needs, not theirs, but ours, the one need is met. And it fulfills itself through each and every individual. So I'm so grateful right now for the inspiration of that presence, that life, that truth that always has been and will always be. I'm giving thanks for divine love in action. And what I know is in this very moment, it shows up in practical ways. I know that in this moment, the collective is alive and well. It reflects with our first responders. It reflects in the care that is taking place. It reflects in the policies and the procedures that are being set up and the protocols. I know that it is reflecting right here and right now in a sacred way as life giving of itself. And that life that is giving of itself is a life that is rich, that is very powerful. And I am grateful for this truth, this demonstration of good, expanding and revealing itself in its most sacred, in its most precious way. And so I smile. And as I smile, I simply release these words with gratitude into the sacred yes, knowing that it is done. And I invite you to just affirm with me these sacred words, and so it is. Amen. Let's just open our eyes together. And as we open our eyes, I want us to look into each other's eyes. That's a precious gift, to be able to look into each other's eyes. And I want you to know that the God within me salutes the God that is within you. It is life-giving of itself. I'm encouraging you to stay safe, because a prayer filled with wisdom and acted out is the most powerful prayer. So we've set something in motion. Now you get to walk in that consciousness. So expect good, look for good, and make wise decisions, because you stand under the wisdom of the divine and the intelligence of the divine. Keep the ears open and make powerful choices. I'm going to practice safe distancing because I want you to survive and I want myself to survive. I actually want us to thrive. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you tomorrow on Easter Sunday, and we're going to have a grand time. There's some wonderful surprises for you. Namaste.